Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Man in America. I'm your host, Seth Holhouse. So by now, it's obvious that dark and powerful forces are manipulating our elections. Recently, Mark Zuckerberg basically admitted to Joe Rogan that the FBI and Facebook intentionally steered the outcome of 2020 by censoring news about Hunter Biden's laptop from hell. Meanwhile, in China, a server has been discovered containing the personal data of 1.8 million US poll workers. And as we head into the midterms, the mainstream media is already starting the exact same narrative like they did in 2020. The big question is, how will they attempt to steal the midterms? And more importantly, can they get away with it, even if we have a red tsunami? So joining me today is Gregg Phillips to discuss all of this and more. Before we get started, today's show is brought to you by Rise TV, a Patriot-owned streaming platform. With all the big tech censorship and the monetization going on right now, the subscribers at Rise TV are literally the reason I can bring you this critical information today. Over at Rise, our mission is to uncover the truth, no matter how dark and difficult, while always holding on to hope and even have a few laughs along the way. Over on Rise, we have a massive, massive content library with amazing content and an incredible community of patriots that you're going to get to know on day one. And you get to hang out with me and my guests for the second half of every show and ask your questions and share your thoughts and ideas. So if you have any specific questions that you want Gregg to answer, make sure you join us on Rise TV. There's a link for a free trial in the description below. You should go ahead and click it now, so that way you're all set up when we cut the public streams for the exclusive Q&A during the second half of the show. Also, make sure you're following me on Telegram and Truth Social at Man in America. You can also catch every episode as a podcast if you just want to listen. The links to my podcast and all the social media are in the description below. And folks, by now we've all sensed that we're in for a bumpy ride for the foreseeable future. Russia and China are truly flexing their muscles on the global stage, and they've aligned with India, Brazil, South Africa, and dozens of other countries to transition away from the US dollar as the dominant global currency. So what does this mean? Well, for most of us Americans, the US dollar is all we know, right? All of our hard-earned money is completely tied to it, whether it's through the stock market, our bank accounts, pensions, 401ks, etc. But you see, the rest of the world is fed up with the US printing money out of thin air and demanding to trade it for things of real value. So this is why Russia has already backed its currency with gold, and many other nations are expected to follow. But what happens to the US dollar if it loses its global reserve status? Well, the value of our dollars, our life savings, could literally be wiped out overnight. And look, I'm not a financial advisor, so please do your own research. But I believe that now, more than ever, it's a good time to consider transferring at least some of your wealth into physical gold and silver. Real world assets have stood the test of time. We're talking 5,000 years. And for this, I'm confident recommending Noble Gold. You can buy gold and silver directly, or you can even transfer your IRA into physical gold and silver with zero taxes or penalties. Most importantly, you can trust Noble Gold with your wealth. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and hundreds of positive reviews from the folks like you they've already helped. Now look, I want to be really, really clear with you. You don't buy gold and silver to get rich. You do it to protect your wealth. But if things get really tough, history has left us with many stories of folks scooping up land and other valuable assets for a few gold coins. So now's the time, folks. If you want to learn more about this, open up a new tab right now and go to goldwithseth.com, or you can call 877-646-5347 to speak to someone right now. The folks at Noble Gold will answer all your questions and take care of you every step of the way. Again, that's 877-646-5347. And look, I'm not saying Noble Gold is the only option. If you already know someone that sells gold and silver, great. All I'm saying is that you should please act now and protect your wealth before it's too late. So folks, this is going to be a fantastic interview with the Patriot Gregg Phillips. But I have a quick note for those of you that are watching on YouTube. We're not going to be publishing this interview on YouTube, right? This is going to be a very, very important interview, and we're going to be talking about a lot of what happened in 2020, what they're lining up for 2022, and I can't publish this on YouTube. So if you want to join us and watch the rest of this show, which is going to be incredible, please click on the link in the YouTube description and you can go over to Rumble to watch it, where we can actually talk about things openly over there. So, Dom, you can go ahead and cut the YouTube stream so we can go ahead and talk about all these things that the commies don't want us to talk about. So, without further ado, let me go ahead and bring on my guest today, Mr. Gregg Phillips. So, Gregg, thank you so very, very much for joining me again.
Seth, I can't thank you enough for having me back, and your audience has been, amazingly supportive of us and me, and I'm just really grateful